welcome to a new video. My name is Amsterdam Comic Geek, and today I wanted to show you X-Men Ultra Collection Book 5 of 5. I came across this comic book while I was going through my X-Men collection, and a while ago I got a big stack of comics from friends of mine, American comics and translations, and there's also a lot of X-Men comics in that collection. And also this comic, and I'm still going through the big stack, so I didn't know I had this one. But apparently it's a comic book that's compiling a couple of pinups of X-Men. And it's published by Marvel, of course. And there's also some art from Fleer Ultra X-Men trading cards. So there's also some trading card art in this. But there's a lot of good stuff in it, so I thought I'll show you. This is the table of contents and all the names. There's some Bilson Cabbage art, which is great, and Bob Larkin. And then Brereton, if I pronounce that correctly. This is Exit Wolverine by Lou Harrison. So let's go through it. Let's look at a couple of great. The cover is X-Men Blue Team by Ray Lego, and it's a nice painted cover. I kind of lost track of the X-Men in the mid 1990s, I suppose. I stopped collecting them. I stopped collecting the Dutch issues, and when Chris Claremont stopped writing X-Men, I was kind of done with them for a while. This is Deadpool. This one is quite good. Wolverine vs. Cable by Dan Brereton. I really like his Nocturnal stories. The stories about the Nocturnals. And he has he always paints his comics. He has a very distinguished style. You can always tell it's Dan's work. I'm having a bit of a cold, that's why. I'll keep this one short and sweet. Archangel. Typical trading card fare, I suppose. Are you collectors of trading cards, actually? Because I've never bothered collecting trading cards. I'm more into comics. But some of these pinups are quite nice. Siren. Silver Samurai. I suppose collecting trading cards can be a lot of fun. Magneto. And the Sentinels, who are interesting enemies of the X-Men. I'm still fond of Days of Future Past, the Claremont and Byrne story. That was also the basis of the movie. Wolverine vs. the Hellfire Club. Now this one I like a lot. It's Mirage by Sienkiewicz. It's a great pinup. A couple of months ago I was lucky enough to interview Sienkiewicz when he was at Dutch Comic Con in Utrecht in November. This is another Dan Brereton's Beast. Pretty nice. Look at the details. And you can tell it's a Brereton because the faces are quite similar when he paints. He paints a lot of the same faces or the same features. Another Magneto, which reminds me of a Jim Lee cover. I'm not sure if it's a imitation of the Jim Lee cover, but it's how we remember Mr. Magneto when he's doing bad things. And there's a poster inside So that makes it hard to show this one. The Hulk versus Wolverine, which is a classic fight, of course. That's repeated a couple of times in Marvel history. I really like the issue with McFarlane. Todd McFarlane issue. In which those two slug it out. Cannonball. This one is interesting. This is Fall of the Mutants, which was a storyline, I think, in the late 80s by Claremont and Mark Silvestri. They did the X-Men. Joe Phillips, the artist on this one. So this calls back that storyline, which was pretty good. Forge. The X-Men die at the end. They sacrifice themselves and then they are reborn. Stay in Australia for a while. I think it was a good run. Good story arc. That's good. Sabretooth. It also looks like trading card art, but it's pretty good. It's always fun when they do a tear up the page kind of thing with the claws. There are a couple of Wolverines green covers like that as well. It's a lot of work to do painted comics, but I think it's worth the effort because it looks great. The art looks great. This is Bilson Cabbage. It really gives those comics their own identity and texture and such, and it's a totally different reading experience. It's like fine art. Superheroes meet fine art. Look at that. Apocalypse. And I didn't really like the movie X-Men Apocalypse. I thought it was pretty flawed and boring at some points. I like the 80s vibe in it, but I thought Apocalypse was a pretty boring villain. And I like this one too. This is Bob Larkin. Larkin is made great poster art of the Incredible Hulk and other Marvel characters. I remember back in the day. Bishop. Shinobi Shaw. It's by Bo Hampton. I like that. I think these are trading cards illustrations as well. And Domino by Dan Brereton. And a lot of Brereton in this one. So this is a nice find in the collection. I didn't know I had this one. And here we are, Exit Wolverine again. So it's good to discover every once in a while. I have stuff in my collection I have never read, and that surprises me. That are surprisingly good. Nice to see. Anyway, so that was X-Men Ultra Collection number 5. I don't think I have any of the other ones, but still it's nice to see some of the painted art. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Cheers.